Okay, it is 8:30. I will call this meeting to order. A roll call of committee members.
Wayland here.
Riker Todd here.
Okay.
John Scow.
Tony Munson, Town Association rep.
Randy Severson here.
Dave Larson, Chair. I believe that's it.
Andy Parrish is here.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. I wasn't looking up.
That's right.
Okay, all members are here. Certification of open meeting law requirements. I think I saw them out there, so they should have been correct, okay? We have a 16-item agenda, looking for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the agenda with corrections to the typos as previously indicated.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, do you want to explain what your adjustments were?
Just names that were probably just misspelled that sounded different than what they actually got typed on.
Okay, anybody have any questions about it?
For
Hearing
those
none.
interested, it was, I believe it's Shannon Brogger instead of Sharon Brogger,
Okay,
I believe.
okay. All in favor of approving the agenda, or the minutes? No, the agenda, yes. Getting confused already. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Item number 5, public comment period of 15 minutes. Members of the public will have a 15-minute block of time to comment on today's agenda items. Members may be present in person or call in to make such comments. To comment by telephone, please call 715-538-1894. Public comment may be extended or curtailed at the discretion of the committee chair after advisement of the committee. And with this, I would ask if anybody's here to testify about any of the 3 public hearings that you hold off till the public hearing is occurring. If anybody has anything about our agenda other than the 3 public hearings, please come to the podium. Okay, yeah, I'll make the mention, yeah. Okay, seeing no activity, if anybody has signed the sheet to testify at any of the public hearings or wishes to testify I don't see anything in front of me here yet, that anybody's filled anything out with requests. So with that, seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment period and move on to item 6, which is the adoption of the minutes from the June 3rd, 26th regular meeting. Looking for a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt the minutes.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
okay. Questions, comments, John?
Yeah, I had submitted some comments that I don't think that there was enough detail provided about our discussion about the solar committee. Specifically, the discussion about township, and I left the meeting with a very different understanding. When I listened to the recording, I think the minutes are accurate in what is stated as the approved committee, but from the last meeting. But the term collaboration with the township was used, and we did not define what that meant. When I was sitting here a month ago, I thought that meant they would be a part of the committee. And I don't know why we wouldn't include the township in the committee to negotiate a joint development agreement.
Okay.
So I proposed a statement that would be added to the minutes in my email, which, if you want me to read it, basically says, under the solar discussion / possible action, it starts off, selection of panel for negotiations on solar-related agreements, procedures. Chair Larson recommended the panel should consist of zoning manager, corp counsel, E&LU committee chair, county administrator, and county board chair, if so chooses. I added the sentence, discussion about town of Sumner involvement yielded a recommendation for collaboration between the county and the town, but not representation on the committee at this time.
So you are,
I would propose to amend the minutes with that statement, and I would propose that we have further discussion about that committee, its composition, and if there, and inclusion of the township. And if it's decided not to include the township on that committee, we should define how the township will be included.
Susan, do you have any input to this for us?
Sure. So the specific question that Supervisor Skog, and really the specific motion is to amend the minutes to include that statement about collaboration. And that's the only agenda item that we can or address at this moment. And so we do need a second, if there is one, to the motion in front. The secondary part of it, we can't respond to at this moment.
Okay, does everybody understand what we've said? Questions? Do I have a second to the motion to add that sentence?
Wait a minute.
Mr. Parrish, you seconded the motion?
Yep, I'll make the second. I'll make the
Okay.
second for John to do that.
Okay, now it's up for discussion.
So as of right now, the collaboration is not defined then correctly on who participates in that?
My thought would be collaboration would be the dictionary definition of collaboration.
Is that just the town's chair or the board participating in on this committee?
I don't know that that means any of them participate on this five-person committee, but they would be involved at the next stage when something is negotiated to bring forward to this committee, then the town could participate.
So just to clarify what I said, the only item before the committee at this point is the adoption of the minutes and to make sure that they are appropriate. So we have to stick tight to that agenda item. We can address those through other items or other meetings, but the issue is the adoption of the minutes and the motion.
And I'll just go back to
Susan.
the video of our meeting from last month. There was about 7 minutes of discussion around this committee, including, the discussion about should we include the township, and then I think it was mentioned, well, we should surely collaborate, or a collaboration would be a good way. But just giving them the opportunity to comment is not collaboration, David. That is an opportunity to respond. Collaboration is an interaction.
Okay, Mr. Parrish, did you have a comment?
I was just gonna say, I wasn't there, but my goal is to make sure we have accurate minutes, because as I research a lot of different stuff, accurate minutes matter. So I'm gonna just support whatever we do next, whether we put these on hold and approve them at the next meeting. I don't know what the next step is, but I'm with John on this. I just want accurate ones.
So, okay, the motion to amend is to add that sentence to our minutes. Okay,
Then I'll second that.
okay, you did, right?
It's already seconded,
Yep.
yes.
Anybody have any further questions or comments? Without that, I will call for a vote to amend the minutes to include that sentence. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Well, not much noise, but it sounds like it carried. Okay, so that will be,
And then the adoption of the agenda.
yep. So now we need a vote to, so now we vote on the amended agenda itself.
Minutes.
Minutes.
We're voting on the minutes.
Minutes.
The minutes itself.
I'll get it
We
straight
passed the
someday.
amendment. It's fine, we're not time limit, Dave, I won't make you go fast.
Okay. Yeah. All in favor of the amended minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. With that, item 7, the public hearing. I will call that to order at 8:39. And have the secretary read the public hearing notice.
You are hereby given notice that the following conditional use permit will be before the Environment and Land Use Committee on Wednesday, July 1st, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. in the county boardroom of the courthouse, 18600 Hobson Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin, 54773. The hearing requested by Johann Brager, owner-operator, is to consider a conditional use permit for a non-metallic mining operation for the extraction of construction aggregate. The location is the southeast one quarter of the northeast one quarter, northeast one quarter of the southeast one quarter, and the northwest one quarter of the southeast one quarter of Section 6, Township 22 North, Range 9 West, in the town of Burnside, Trumpealeau County, Wisconsin. The parcel numbers follow. To provide public comment on this hearing during this meeting, please call 715-538-1894. Your attendance and comments are encouraged at this hearing. If you are unable to attend and have any questions, please call Rick J. Reisinger with the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1922 or email to rick.reisinger@county.trempealeau.wisconsin.us. If you are unable to attend and desire to submit a written comment, please send your written comments to the Department of Land Management, 18600 Hobson Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin, 54773, or email, once again, to Rick at Department of Land Management. All emails and written comments must be received by June 30th, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. Please know that the written comments will be read at the public hearing up to 250 words. All written comments must include the name and address of its author. Any special interest groups or expert witnesses will be allowed 20 minutes to give a presentation and must register at least 1 week prior to the meeting date by calling Rick J. Reisinger of the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1922. Sincerely, Rick J. Reisinger.
Thank you. The staff have a overview for us.
So this would be a new construction aggregate mine. Johann is here and is willing to answer any questions from the committee. I did not receive any phone calls or letters or anything. We do have the approval from, or the letter from the town of Burnside stating they have no objection to the new mine. And that's about it.
Okay. Applicant have any additional information they want to give us in this, at this point? Figure it's covered? Okay. Just giving you the opportunity. Any other public testimony in regard to this permit? Any other public testimony for this? Any other testimony? Okay. I don't see any sheets to call anybody up, or that anybody has requested time. Okay, you already read the letter from the town. Is there anybody with anything else to say on the subject? Seeing nothing, I will close the public hearing at 8:44 and open it up for the committee to do something. Wanting to make a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I move that we approve the conditional use permit in the Johann Brager mine.
Okay,
Second.
and we have a second. Okay, further discussion.
Rick, just for my education, have you visited, what has been your involvement in the application?
Received the application, reviewed it, made sure that everything meets the county ordinance as, as written. Met with Johann and discussed it. But no, I have not been out to the site.
Does
I
the,
believe
does
so.
the DNR get involved in any of this stuff or not?
I do believe we do submit some of the information to them. This is my first one, so I'm kind of learning as we go, but, yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. But everything in the application, does meet the requirements.
One thing I didn't ask before, the size of this, proposed size of this, I just was paging through and I did not see that. Is this like a 1 acre, 5 acre?
It's 30.
It's 30, okay, I missed that, okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'm call for a vote on the approval of this conditional use hearing. All in, no, that can be a voice vote, right? Yep. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 8. Public hearing on land use rezone from primary ag to residential R20 by Robert and Karen Salesman, trust agreement. And I will call this to order at 8:46. Ask the secretary to read it.
You are hereby given notice that a public hearing before the Trumpealeau County Environment and Land Use Committee is scheduled for Wednesday, July 1st, 2026 at 8:35 PM in the county boardroom of the courthouse, 18600 Hobson Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin. The purpose of the hearing requested by Robert and Karen Salzman, trust agreement, landowner petitioner, Ettrick, Wisconsin, is to request a land use change rezone from primary ag to residential 20 on approximately 11.46 acres to expand an existing mobile home park. The location, PT of the northeast 1/4 of the southwest 1/4, the northwest 1/4 of the southwest 1/4, the northeast 1/4 of the southwest 1/4, section 6, town 18 north, range 8 west, town of Caledonia. The tax numbers, parcel numbers follow. Upon request, a map of the property may be obtained from the Department of Land Management. To provide public comment on this hearing during the meeting, please call 715-538-1894. Your attendance and comments are encouraged at this hearing but not required. If you are unable to attend and have any questions, please call Mark Carlson with the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1919 or email at mark.carlson@county.trempealeau.wisconsin.us before 4:30 PM on June 30th, 2026. If you are unable to attend and desire to submit a written comment, please send your written comment to the Department of Land Management, 18600 Hobson Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin, 54773, or email to, once again, Mark Carlson, before 4:30 PM on June 30th, 2026. Please know that the written comments will be read at the public hearing up to 250 words. All written comments must include the name and address of its author and the request that the letter be read at a particular meeting date. Any special interest groups or expert witnesses will be allowed 20 minutes to give a presentation and must register at least 1 week prior to the meeting date by calling Mark Carlson with the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1919. Sincerely, Mark Carlson, Zoning Administrator.
Thank you, Randy. Mark, you got some for us?
I was contacted by Don Salzman in regards to this, and it is a permitted mobile home court, and it's one of the better ones in the county as far as being maintained and cleanliness and all that kind of stuff. I just kind of want to mention that. And he wants to extend into that field, and R20 is one of the requirements for it to be a mobile home court or park. And I did get one call from an individual, and I don't know if he's here or not, but he was going to come in and talk. I did talk to the town of Caledonia. They approved something a number of years ago, and the committee decided to go by their wishes as far as letting them, they're in favor of it. And every year we inspect these mobile home courts for a number of things, and this one was always at the top of the list as far as, you know, and they could have up to 200 units, which I don't think they're even going to get close to that, even with the expansion. And he is here today. He's got a presentation put together that he's going to hand out and talk about, but I think it's spelled out pretty clearly what their intent is. The comprehensive plan is R20, so they're following the comprehensive plan. And I guess he sees the need for additional housing that has been talked about more frequently in the county, so this is one option for that. That's pretty much it, I think.
Okay. Yeah, is the Mark pointed in some direction, but I'm not familiar. The applicant is here? Yes. Okay, there you are. Okay, come to the podium, please, and turn the mic on. Yep.
All right, so my name is John Salzman. I don't have enough for everybody, but I think there's 7 or 8 copies in there, so hopefully you can share. So yeah, I mean, Mark did a pretty good job of explaining kind of our intentions here, but I'm here on behalf of our trust and the mobile home park, and yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're just looking at extending the community into that backfield, and here today hoping to seek approval for that. I think most of the infrastructure and roads would just be an extension of what's currently existing there. As far as the ag field, how it sits today, it's surrounded by additional residential, the mobile home community, as well as the development to the north, and some other additional housing and whatnot to the south. So it fits, you know, kind of in what the mold is already there, and we're hopeful to add some additional attainable and affordable housing for Trempealeau County. Happy to answer any questions, or obviously this is the kind of preliminary phase, so we haven't had an engineering design or anything like that until we get approval to move into the, you know, new zoning for the residential, but projecting probably somewhere between 36 and 45 additional lots.
John, I'm not familiar with your mobile home. Is it a septic field that it's goes into that can handle this amount?
So we're connected to the city, so the city of
your
Gainesville
city,
Sewers
Gainesville.
is
All right,
directly
thank
behind
you.
the community, so we're actually connected to that, which is awesome.
That is ideal, thank you.
But we do have private, we will have private wells for the water system.
So then the wells have been operating since the beginning of the mobile home.
Correct. We currently have 5 wells there right now. One that was existing since day one. Actually, no, I take that back. We just put in a new well because that one went down here a few years ago.
Okay.
So we did upgrade that well, and then we've got 4 other ones that service subsequent homes that were additional.
All right, my concern is just to have enough water available for the group and septic, but it sounds like you've got that taken care of.
Yep.
Thank you, John.
So it's private well, but public sewer?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess my only question is, the only concern, is there any concern with how, I know you're not gonna build exactly to the lot line, but how close it's getting to the city of Gainesville wastewater treatment plant, holding pond back there, whatever you'd like to call it?
Sure.
Is there any concern that you've heard of yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Getting closer to that? I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I've got an engineering firm that I'm working with, so once
Okay.
we get to the next step, I'll have them go through a full study and
Okay.
look into everything, make sure that we're kosher.
Perfect.
Mr. Chair.
Tony?
I know a few townships have asked or talked about maybe increasing the age of the mobile homes being allowed in the county.
No.
You know,
In-
by
increase-
age.
Increasing the age or?
No.
Reducing?
Reducing the
Okay.
age, sorry.
We'd be targeting new homes. We'd be bringing in new homes to the community. And throughout the existing community that we have, we've been phasing out older houses. So as people move out or homes get left to us, whatever it is, if they're older and, you know, just need to be demoed and removed, we'll remove them and then bring in a new house.
So you own the houses or whatever and rent them out?
No,
or
we
they're
sell
private?
them. We bring in the new houses and then sell them on site.
Okay.
We don't own any, it's all tenant owned.
So what's involved in, what will be involved in the project then? Just extending that road, and then what is involved in making each lot?
Yeah, so we'd have to extend the road down and bring the water sewer to each lot. So we'd have to put in new infrastructure, and then we'd have to, each lot would have its, like a foundation for the house to go on, a slab. And then from that, we'd put in a parking pad. We've contemplated building garages as well as part of it, or the residents are able to build garages and whatnot as well. But we would put in basically the roads, electrical, gas, water, sewer, or water and sewer lines, and then parking pads.
So what's the approximate size of the lot then that?
It's probably going to be somewhere between like 60 by 100 feet, so right around 6,000 square feet, somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 square feet is what I'd project.
Any other questions for him? Just one, you said you've got 5 wells there now. Are you anticipating drilling any more wells out in the direction of the new homes, or do you have sufficient supply to supply?
We would have to add additional wells, but that, again, we'd have to go, I'm going to go
Right,
through the
yep.
full study with the engineers and kind of see what we need to do there.
Okay. Anything else for him?
Just a quick question.
Rebecca?
Do you already have a communal area for everyone, playground type of area?
There is,
There is?
yeah,
Okay.
yep, there's a playground, and we'd even, I mean, there's gonna be extra space. I mean, I've kind of mapped it out or drawn it out myself just to kind of see how it would lay out, and there's gonna be some extra space back there, so we would probably add some more, like another green space or a playground or whatever.
It is a very, I've been there just on reasons I live in Gainesville, but it is a very clean and organized park. It really is. It's very well upkept. I just want to throw that comment in there.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you.
Any other public testimony in regard to this application? Any, okay. You can come to the microphone, fill it out, and get it up here. Just make sure you identify yourself.
I'm Michael Rasmussen. I'm the last house on the other side where we're going to be developing this. I do have some concerns. Water. We've got a lot of high-capacity wells that have been going into the farm fields upstream from us, from the geologist's point of view or the hydrologist's point of view, it all running into Beaver Creek. Just a little bit concerned over time. We're getting these dry spells. Am I going to have to pound wells deeper now because we're adding so much more water to this area? They've steadily added more wells out into those cornfields or those ag fields over the years. Another concern I have is you're going really close to Beaver Creek back there in that far corner. That is part of a watershed. That is a very, very steep hillside. If you notice, if you were to blow that picture up, everybody protects that little area back by those woods because of the erosion problem that goes on where Beaver Creek's at. Along that whole stretch, there are no big housing developments back that close to Beaver Creek. I think for that simple reason, I'm slowly losing land every year, and I'm really trying to avoid that happening. And I'm also a little worried about, of course, when I moved in 2010, that was zoned ag. They were told under the premise that they really were maxed out. They couldn't build much more back in that trailer court. I give the Salzmans hands down. It is the nicest trailer court I've ever been in my life. But do we need that many homes back there? Everywhere I go, I see a housing development going up around here. We just had Edie Estates go up across County K. How many more homes do we need? Everybody talks about affordable. Well, how affordable is this really going to be? Holman has apartments going up. Everybody's got buildings going up. I just wanted to voice my opinion that I'm really not in favor of this. It's beautiful back there. It has been for a long time. It's a lot of wildlife back there. I'm not sure if the Salzmans hunt back on the backside of their property, but the gentleman who owns the 99 behind me does, and everybody really hunts that Beaver Creek bottom. And that's a huge bedding spot and everything for the wildlife as they come up. So all I have to say is, do we need to keep taking away our green spaces and our ag spaces to keep adding more homes that, are they really needed in the end? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. there anybody else wishes to, sir? Please do.
My name is Noah Gentleman. I live right next to Michael. I only have a couple concerns. We had some mobile home units. What does that do to our taxes? What does that do to our property value on the other side, on the north side there? I know, in general, mobile homes normally are not as, the tax purposes are a little less. Does that affect my property value? That type of thing is what I'm concerned about. The, like Michael had said, the DNR involvement and the watershed. So those are my concerns. That's really all I have right now, but I am concerned about the property values in the surrounding neighborhoods. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Let's cover that. Just one more time, anybody else? Is anything on this? Okay. Mark, do you have the letter from the town? Or anything else?
I don't have anything else. Like I said, this letter was from 2020. The town of Caledonia, town board was informed by Robert and Karen Sullivan that they're requesting a rezone of this property from primary ag to R20 to accommodate the expansion of the Country Road Estates Mobile Home Park. Town of Caledonia unanimously passed a motion at their September 2020 board meeting, stated that they recommend this request. And then I did have a recent email from Stacy. She referenced this letter and their wishes to follow that letter.
Okay,
The-
that's what I was
the
gonna
current
ask,
town
if there was
board.
any update to that.
Right,
Apparently there
yeah.
is, okay. Anything else? Seeing nothing, I will close the public hearing at 9:02. And open it up for a motion by the committee.
David, for those of us that are somewhat new to this, can you explain this process? So if we approve that in committee, the full board still needs to vote, correct?
Yes. No, yes, this is a rezone. Yes, it has to go to the full board.
Thank
We
you.
just-
So there will be opportunity for me to go out and talk to some of the individuals that just spoke today.
There will be, yes. Because assuming this passes here, it will be before the board at the next board meeting.
David, is there any, if it needs to come to be for whatever reason, is there any kind of limit we can put on that you got to push it back? I'm just throwing out numbers, 100 feet from the lot line to stay away from the river, or can we do stipulations like that if needed?
I would say this is not a conditional use permit. It is a rezone. And if they meet the conditions or the requirements of the mobile home park chapter, that's what they need to meet. You know, there's no any additional, and we don't even know how far down he's gonna go. I mean, he's only gonna be adding 35-ish, you know. And, you know, they're gonna have to stay out of obviously floodplain area. They'll stay away from steep areas. That should all be addressed when they draw up the plan for all this. You know, there is a tree line. I'm not sure if 100% screening is there, but that can always be adjusted. And, you know, they're probably not gonna go into the south tree line any further than the field, so they're not gonna get to, you know, right to the edge of that blue line. And I guess I don't have any concern that they will not follow what they are required to follow based on what I've seen in their park currently. So,
And Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, but once this is further along and they start creating lots, then your department will be involved in some of the permitting and
yeah, we will be,
inspection,
yes.
correct?
Yeah. Individually, each
Yep.
one would be a land use permit, building permit, no sewer permit. We would permit the wells when necessary in that area. So we would be involved with it further down the road also.
Okay,
What is the setback for the properties to the north?
I'd have to, I don't know it verbatim, I guess. It's in the ordinance, and it's not 100 feet. It's probably, no less than what's requirement for someone to build a house is only 10 feet, so. Right now, we're looking at, for him to rezone that piece of property.
yep.
Not however they're gonna construct it. That'll come later when he comes up with his engineering plan, and then we'll go over all that stuff when they get permitted for certain things on it, so. No.
So, anything else? Okay, we have a motion and a second to move this rezone to full county board. All in favor, say aye.
I don't think there was ever a motion.
No, who made the motion, Dave? I'm sorry.
I thought I had a motion and a second, or else we shouldn't have been discussing it.
I don't have one written down.
I don't
I'm
have a
sorry.
motion.
I thought I,
But Dave, I will move a motion to approve the zoning change
okay,
so that we can get to it.
No, second.
and a second. Got that? Okay, now. Call for the vote. All in favor of this? Huh?
This one I would recommend a roll since it's.
A recommended roll call? Okay, okay. Roll call, Whalen,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Skog?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Randy? Larson, yes. Parrish?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Motion carried to move forward to full county board. Item 9,
Remember to do it.
public hearing on amendments to Trempealeau County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance. We'll call this to order at 9:07 and ask Secretary to read the,
I don't have a notice for that one. Do I have
Thank you.
a notice for that public hearing?
he says he doesn't have a notice for that.
Kathy, do I have a notice for this public do I have a public notice to read for this hearing? All right, I got it.
Okay.
Please take notice that pursuant to statute 59.69, para 2, para E, para 3, para E, I don't know how to read those, Wisconsin statutes, the Trumpealeau County Environment and Land Use Committee will hold a public hearing to make minor amendments to the Trumpealeau County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance, which are as follows. 1, amendment to Chapter 4.11, adding provisions of model annotated local government solar energy system ordinance prepared by the University of Wisconsin-Madison Division of Extension, published May 12, 2026, as well as the provisions of the recommendations of the Solar Study Committee and the Environment and Land Use Committee. Please be further advised that this public hearing will be held on Wednesday, July 1st, 2026, at 8:40 a.m. in the new county boardroom of the courthouse located at 18600 Hobson Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin, 54773. Prior to the public hearing, copies of the proposed minor amendments may be obtained at the offices of the Trumpealeau County Department of Land Management and the Trumpealeau County Clerk of Courts at 36245 Main Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin, 54773. To request that a copy of these amendments be mailed, please contact the Department of Land Management at 715-538-1919 or email at mark.carlson@county.trempealeau.wisconsin.us. The zoning ordinance amendments may be also assessed and viewed online at www.county.trempealeau.wisconsin.us. Written comments will be accepted by the Environment and Land Use Committee until June 30th, 2026 at 4:30 PM. Comments can be emailed to Mark Carlson at county.trempealeau.wisconsin.us or mailed to the Department of Land Management, 18600 Hobson Street, Whitehall, Wisconsin, 54773, but must be received no later than June 30th, 2026 at 4:30 PM. The Trumbull County Environment and Land Use Committee.
Just a point of question, if I may. Should that have been in the packet? Because I didn't see it in the packet.
It was in the paper 3 times.
Okay, well,
And John, it wasn't in my packet either, so that you know.
Yep.
I guess we'll make sure it gets in the packets, but the
Yeah,
packet information
wasn't in
is
mine.
the landowner letter with the public notice. Well, we didn't have landowners' letters in this case, so we didn't send a letter to every landowner in this county. So, that's why it wasn't, but I'll make sure it's in the packet next time.
it was
You
just
know,
a
it's
question.
posted, but, yeah.
Okay, Mark, you got anything else on this for now, or?
No, not really. I guess it's just something that was discussed at length, and, that model ordinance seemed reasonable enough to try to follow, and so it was compiled as it is. And then that last sheet that I handed out was just something that somebody wanted added on about disputes and complaints, even though we do have some mention of it in our ordinance for conditional uses that we have to follow up on. But I guess if we want to get something adopted, and we can, legally, as far as language goes, I think that ordinance was sufficient for that.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to compliment Mark on getting this all put together and brought to us at the speed in which he did. I know it was extra work. I appreciate you putting the effort
I
forth.
appreciate that, but I can't take the credit for most of it because Susan is the one that drafted it.
And Susan also. Because when we discuss something one meeting and we have a proposal the next meeting, that indicates some efficiency and some dedication to getting the job done. And I want to recognize that.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Well, we don't have a real applicant on this one, but do we have any public testimony in regard to this? That wish to come up to the podium? Anyone wishing to speak to this? One more time, anybody wants to speak to this public hearing? Hearing nothing, I will move. Don't have a letter from the town. Next one is, I guess, unless somebody's got something. I'll close the public hearing at 9:13. And at this point, I need a motion before.
Mr. Chair, I move for adoption of the Trumpealeau County Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance Amendment to Chapter 4, Particular Use Requirements by creation of Section 4.11 Solar Topic.
Okay. Do I have? Second. And we have a second. Okay, now it's open up for discussion, possible amendments.
Is this included in the one, or do we have to officially amend that today?
So this, I don't, so if you're looking at the additional page that was in front of your desks, and Supervisor Parrish, I don't know if you have it. If you don't have it, we can email it to you. This is the complaint, dispute resolution, and termination section. That was something that I know was brought at the last meeting as the committee wanted to include it. It wasn't part of the model ordinance, so this is proposed language that is for your discussion. There's also, just before we start discussing it further, I want to point out on page 7, there's a highlighted section. And the group that met to discuss this, and there were several of us, so they should also receive credit. I believe it was Supervisor Larson, the chair, and Becky, as well as Mark and myself. On page 7, highlighted section near the top, any other information, we wanted to make sure that that is consistent with the committee's direction, as well as we wanted to make sure it was feasible too. So that piece needs a little bit of tinkering, I think.
Which one, on page 7?
On yours is on page 6.
6, oh.
On mine, it's page 7, so,
Yeah, Susan, to that point,
yeah.
Go ahead.
yeah. I was thinking that we were looking at what we had approved from the past, and if it wasn't covered in the model ordinance, that we would just insert that in the appropriate place. And I wasn't sure, so that's point number 1. Point number 2 was, I wasn't sure which documents you're actually referring to. I saw your comment in the document. We have to figure out how to get it public facing, but if we don't do that sort of gap analysis and put text in, what are the documents that we need to make available to the public, I guess?
I think, John, as we go along, maybe, I'm hoping that maybe I have something to clarify that for you, but I'm not there yet. We're still working towards what. First thing was, this needs to be officially a motion and vote to add this to the document.
It should. That would be appropriate.
Okay.
And
So let's stick with one item at a time.
Okay, yeah, sorry, Dave.
that was me.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I move to amend the motion that was moved to add the section that states, so 7, complaint, dispute resolution, and termination. Would you like me to read the entire
the
amendment?
rest of us all have it. If Mr.
I don't think
Parrish
Mr.
wishes
Parrish
us
has
to
it.
read it so he hears it, that might be okay.
Can someone just email
I didn't hear
email
it.
it? Can someone just email it to me?
I believe I have it.
I just
so.
need it emailed.
Okay, Andy, we just want to make sure you know what it is.
Yep.
So a question to that, where is it proposed to be put into the document? It says item 7, but
At the very end.
at the
The
very
addition.
end.
Yeah, it's an ad.
Come on, page. Yeah. Right now, I got myself confused on where it is. But it's at the end someplace. I can't remember.
It
I can't
looks like
find
it's
it.
the very end.
Very end, okay, yep. So that was, okay, we have a motion. I got a second, right? No.
I'll amend the second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to add this item to the original document.
I'd have one question
Okay.
for 7B. So if a complaint arises, just say the cover doesn't meet specs, what happens?
It comes to our committee, right? We get a complaint, yeah. It comes to our committee to do further review, possible action, including termination of, if it's, or revocation. If we would so vote.
Just wanted to clarify.
Okay. Anything else? If not, I'll call for a vote on the amendment to the original document. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. That amendment is added. Now then, and this is,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
I just wanted to rise to, in favor of this policy right now, because of the need that we have for guidance amongst people in Trempealeau County on what we're, what we're planning to do as far as zoning, so that we have something enacted and we have some guidelines established. It is not a perfect document, but I believe it is a document we need to pass and get on to the county board so it can be addressed and we can give a little bit of vision to what we're going to be doing as far as managing is with the solar farms that are already coming into the county.
Okay? Now, thank you. I am hoping that I'm within reason here. I would like to see us adopt by reference some other documents, including the Solar Farm Study Committee report, the solar project report that Susan put out in '24. The solar farm study was from March of '23. And I haven't had time to clarify, there was another one put out by Susan with a draft. I'm not sure if there's, might be anything in there that wouldn't be included in these other things.
I recall that the recommendations, which were largely tweaks to the solar report, were voted on, so that would be already in there. I'm not sure. This looks a little different than what I had, so.
I didn't. So you're saying this might not be worthy of putting in?
I'm not certain where it's from. It might be just a change of formatting too,
Okay, that could be.
but
Okay, I will put that. But the other two items, the Solar Farm Study Committee report and the Solar Projects report from Susan, the one in March of '23 and the other one in July of '24, incorporated by reference in, where, no, I had that, in item, let's see, it's actually item E2, and then number 13. On mine, it's page 5 and 6, that we incorporate by reference those two documents. That way, there's probably some overlap there, but right now, we don't spell it all out, but they're incorporated by reference, so therefore, they can be used or looked at for whatever purpose we need. So, with that, I guess I can legitimately do it. I'm going to make a motion that we add those two items by reference. The Solar Farm Study Committee report of March of '23 and the Solar Projects report from Susan on July 3rd of '24. I'll make the motion that we incorporate that by reference.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Now it's up for discussion.
Yeah, Dave, Mr. Chair, that's one way to do it. I don't think it's the best way.
I don't disagree with you, but we're under a time constraint.
Yeah, but it's not that big of an effort, real. I agree, and I'm okay with that as a starting point. I guess from my standpoint, it wouldn't take that much effort to just look at those two documents in reference and compare it with what's already stated in what will become our ordinance. And just get rid of the duplicity, because most of it is duplicative information, the cursory look that I did. So I think that should be our stated goal, is to not just leave that for forever, but in the next couple of months to finalize that.
Do you want to make a motion to amend my?
I would like to amend your motion to say, what it would be.
To incorporate the documents, but,
Initially,
and then,
but to address and incorporate any non-duplicative information in those reference documents into the ordinance.
okay. Okay, we have a motion to amend my motion to add that language.
I would like to second
And a
John
second there,
Scott's.
okay? Any more discussion?
So just so we're clear, discussions on the amendment to the amendment.
The amendment.
Now that John has proposed and
Yep.
was seconded by Mr. Todd.
Yes. To add language that says this probably isn't permanent, but it's for our use right now. Okay?
Do we need to time bound that or Not.
You can make it as tight as you want, but that's just, if we're trying to be efficient
Yeah.
and effective,
Yeah.
I won't guarantee that just by time bounding it through a motion that it'll happen.
Yeah.
If you want to, but you're gonna get yourself into a real pile here if we amend amendment to, because you
Point
can't
taken.
amend an amendment twice.
Point taken.
Okay. Nothing else, I'm gonna call for a vote on John's amendment to my proposed amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, sorry, I forgot Mr. Parrish.
No, I was there with an eye.
Okay, didn't hear it. Okay. And negative? Hearing none? Okay, my motion is amended to include that language. So now we're back to my proposed amendment to incorporate these by reference. Any more discussion? Okay, we're now calling for a vote on the amended resolution to incorporate these two documents into our ordinance.
Just a question, Dave. Are you suggesting that those two documents be like incorporated as appendices?
Incorporated by reference, meaning.
By reference?
They're not gonna be written into the ordinance, but they can be used in
Yeah.
support or denial of a conditional use permit.
Will there be, will that language under item 13 change to state which documents then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those two documents will
Okay.
be incorporated by reference and named.
Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Okay. Item 11, no, item 10. Town of Trempealeau, Ryan Hilton.
Wait, we still have to vote on this, and we have a couple of.
Oh, wait a minute, oh, that's it, I'm
we have
sorry.
a- And we have a
Okay, I'm
typo.
sorry. I want to get ahead and get done with this.
That's okay, I know, it's a lot. We have that typo on page 9.
Okay.
So we should have,
Okay,
and then,
okay, I was just thinking, we did it, so therefore,
yeah, that was just the amendments.
Mr. Chair, did we actually approve the amendment to the ordinance, or we just approve your addition to?
we approved both.
No, we approve the addition, we need to approve or consider the actual amendment to the ordinance yet. And that includes, there's, just so that the committee is
Okay.
aware, there's a typo on page 9.
Okay, then we have to call for a vote on my amendment, which I thought I did already. I thought we went twice, but maybe.
On the amendment to the ordinance, the overall. We need a motion on that.
Okay, I need a motion to that effect.
I'll move to approve the ordinance, the solar ordinance as discussed,
Amended.
as amended.
I will second that.
Okay. Question, comment? I think I hear him coming back. Yep. Okay, Kevin, we have a motion and a second on the amendment to the ordinance, calling for a vote. Let's see, that's the move.
Yeah, it's on the overall item.
Yep, yep. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, opposed, same sign? Okay, that motion carried. Now, we have a typo.
We have a typo on page 9. I just want to, it's under F2. And just changing from or to of, there's one letter that's off. So if we could change that.
Anybody's looking, it was written with a,
And it might be your 9, or your 8, but it's F2 on under the conditional use permit application review criteria. Letter of credit.
Yeah. It was written with or in there, so it said letter or credit instead of letter of credit. So,
So, and
okay,
that's-
did you have, was there anything else?
No, that's all I'm tracking. I'm certainly happy to answer questions.
Okay. Do we, can we just state it, or do we actually have to do a motion and a vote to change that letter?
If there's not any disagreement by the committee, we can move it forward with just the change of the one letter.
Well, I would like to extend the, if there are any other typos found, that, to give you, is that understood in crafting an ordinance, that anything that doesn't change content can be edited as appropriate?
I appreciate it being stated, because I don't want to change something that's been approved.
Yeah.
Trying to be as clear as possible that it's where it's at, but
Well-
I would like to change that so we
To
have an
Kevin's
appropriate-
point earlier, given the speed with which this was incorporated and authored, I think it makes sense in this case to say if there are other minor edits that constitute grammar or misspellings, that those be allowed by the authors of the ordinance.
I'm good.
I
But
move
do we-
that.
Do we need to do something
No,
official?
as long as you, it sounds like a motion, let's make
I
a
made a
second. and
motion.
vote. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
okay,
We got a motion on the floor.
yep. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, does everybody understand what we're talking about? That there's permission, I'll call it, given
Just to
to make
clean up.
minor edits, spelling corrections, et cetera.
Spelling, grammar,
Grammar, without our approval, just to do it, okay.
Correct.
That's the motion, okay. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, opposed, same sign? Hearing none, carried. Okay, you're good to go with that. Now, where are we? 10. Yeah, we completed this now, right? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, now we'll go on to item 10, which is the town of Trempealeau with Ryan Hilton.
Sorry, Ryan Hilton, Town of Trumbull Chair, and our longest-serving board member, Ted, / our road supervisor. As you see on the map that's on the computer screen, I might have to walk to one of them just to kind of point it out. Essentially, what we're talking about is there's a house being built here, and there's a driveway here that does not access a public road, it accesses a easement. I didn't bring enough handouts, I didn't know I was gonna be speaking to so many people. Essentially, one thing our board has repeatedly said is we all need to work together. It's not a us versus you kind of situation. The existing driveway, I'm gonna go back to the screen again. There's a house here, Travis White Chicks. You can see this was created 16, 17 years ago, but essentially his driveway also does not end up on the road. A third of it does. His dad actually put in some recycled blacktop, which is technically on the landowner to the south, to give him somewhere to turn around. That driveway should have never been there 16 years ago. We're not pointing fingers, we're just trying to rectify a problem that was created by somebody else. Essentially, so this driveway is on his land without an easement, and now there's a driveway for this property on an easement to a road. I have expressed our board's feelings with the Land Management Office, Land Records Office, a couple emails to some other people. But essentially, there's an access to a house through an easement to a road on a dead-end road. One question I've said to the surveyor and multiple other people is, where does the snow go? And he said, oh, just push a little to the left and a little to the right. And I said, well, that's where the driveways are. According to our town lawyer, we cannot plow snow to cover up an easement. The And I also have a document which was originally a subdivision plan. Paul essentially sold off that lot in blue, gained frontage off of Williamson to be able to sell that lot, and then knowing that a driveway was gonna have to be created through an easement to get to a road. I have the building permit, which shows that there's a box, and this is the old plan. Now it's on online plan, so we've kind of lost a little bit of town oversight. But we never initialed the box for a driveway to be approved. Right now, there's a driveway that was never approved that comes out into an easement, once again, that does not access a road. Under the county document for the uniform numbering system and rural road naming, one of the requirements is the applicant must provide the road name which property building will be accessed to or from. This is access from an easement, not from a road. I don't know how they were given an address to put in a driveway through an easement to get to a road. Once again, how are we supposed to plow snow at the end of the road covering up two driveways that never should have had permission, in our eyes, to be there? A couple of legal opinions. This was more kind of geared towards landlocked property, which I feel now has been created, because with Mr. Sensala selling the frontage off of Williamson to this newly created lot number 9, which it's referred to, he now no longer can sell any of the existing property unless he would extend a road. Well, why wouldn't he have been able to extend that road first to be able to give 100-foot frontage to this property, even though they have it on a different road? I get it. You can see it right on the map. So he's already told me that he can't sell any more lots in there because he doesn't have access to the south off of Spalding. He no longer has access off of Williamson, and he has no 100-foot frontage off of Hogan. So essentially was a landlocked parcel created in this development of this lot number 9. In this legal opinion, it is important to note a town board can only lay out a public town road. The town board does not have the authority to lay out a private road or grant a private easement. We can't grant a private easement, but one was granted to create the driveway for that house. Once again, I have an easement myself from my parents. I bought an acre of land to build the garage next to our house. I did not need an address number. It's one parcel, but I have access to our garage. Easements are a wonderful thing. It's not on a dead-end road. Snow plowing isn't hindered by my easement. This easement essentially is a hindrance to the town. Trying to figure out, once again, how do we fix things going forward? I have listed down 4 other areas where there's private driveways, not on dead ends, that access a road. Mr. Sensala has asked, well, why can't the town just be added to the easement that was created with the Hanishes and that bought that blue lot? And then you can legally plow it. And I said, Paul, if we add on to your easement, I already have 3 or 4 other sections where people are gonna say, well, can you get added onto our easements and then you can plow our driveways? So is this like Pandora's box? Just open it up and we'll just plow for everybody? Or, how does this work? The note has always been, well, this is how it's been done, but how do we fix it? How it's been done is not always right, and it's not always wrong. Also, according to that same document I referenced, well, first of all, is there any questions so far? Like I said, we're not here to point fingers.
So is the main hindrance snow plowing and ability to move the snow beyond access points?
So one thing that's been brought up is, and I'll walk over to essentially where Travis's driveway is on the west side, for however, 16 years when that was created, after his dad added in that recycled blacktop, we've been plowing that. So it's been said, well, you've been plowing that, why don't you just keep plowing it, and then that new driveway will be uncovered in the easement. But essentially, our responsibility ends at the red line. I reached out to our lawyer, and our lawyer basically said, determine a way to remove snow on Hogan Road without piling it on the easement area blocking the easement, which to me says we stop at the red, we back blade, we push each way. But once again, we've done something for a neighboring landowner accidentally, or however, it was before my time, just trying to fix it. His second option was enter into an agreement whereby the owner of the easement pays the town to remove snow from the easement area. Once again, if he pays us to remove snow, we've already had a discussion a year and a half ago. We're not gonna plow snow for private driveways. So now we're gonna enter into an agreement just to fix an issue. So I don't really see that one either. The third one was have the easement area dedicated to the town for an extension of Hogan Road. Ideally, this would involve having a road put in up to town specs and then the town taking over ownership and maintenance. The town could also take over the area and build the extension to Hogan Road. Those are the three options basically our town lawyer gave us. I'm just here to ask for input from this board as to how do we move forward? Obviously, as a town, we're under county zoning. County zoning issued an address through the Land Records Division in an easement that we're not required to plow. Apparently, in the verbiage of the easement, there's an agreement between the two landowners that they will potentially work on the plowing of snow to the edge of the property. But, so we, like I said, we have one driveway that's on private property without an easement. We have a newly created driveway that isn't an easement. The farther south, the landowners to the west, what if they would buy an acre of property? They already have frontage from where they have a driveway on the existing side. What if they say, you know, we no longer want our driveway off of Spalding? Paul, can you give us an easement? Now we'll have an easement to get to Hogan. I mean, it's just, where does it start? Where does it stop?
I'd look to Mark.
Well, people are responsible for plowing their own damn driveways in the first place. I mean, you gotta quit thinking that you have to plow their area. You know, they got their frontage, they applied for those dead-end roads with a sign on the end of a dead-end road everywhere in this county, and it's their driveway. This is their driveway. Regardless if they own it or not, it's their driveway.
The driveway goes to an easement, not to a road.
I don't care about easements. You know, and you guys are overthinking this. Quit plowing at the damn end of the road, and then they're responsible for the rest of it. I mean, how easier can it get?
So they.
I mean, there's tons of farms that the driveway ends at the dead end road. The town don't go plow the rest of their driveway. How's this any different, other than it's an easement?
Like I said, I'm not here to point fingers.
Then why are you here? You're here to point fingers because
I'm
you
here
thought
to
somebody
ask-
did something wrong.
I'm here to ask how we fix this.
I don't know how to fix it other than just, people gotta be responsible for their own areas on the properties.
Okay, the question and point is, Mr. Chair, it's a town road, Hogan Road, so theoretically, the town cannot stockpile land on anybody else's property, so is what they're saying is, where do we go with the snow? I mean, that's the point. You can't just push it off into the ditch. Well, how far do you push it in the ditch? I mean, you're either creating a flood issue in the spring, or you could damage somebody else's property.
Randy?
Yeah, I think they're fair concerns because, especially with the potential development behind it. So I think they're valid concerns.
I would say they're valid concerns, but they have to be addressed with 2 or 3 parties. You know, the land records issued the permit for the not wrongfully, in my mind. They got the frontage to the other area as far as lot development goes. And I know for a fact that you dedicated an area for people to, and it didn't have to be brought up to any specs, you know, the one down right outside of the village of Trempealeau where you dedicated a road for all those new lots to be created. It just says future town road on it.
Where's that?
But you agreed with that, Mark.
What's that?
You're talking just off of
I mean,
the
they could do that
village?
here if Sensala was in agreement, you know? But, I would agree it's a concern, you know, I'm not a snow plower, but I guess the city doesn't plow my driveway, and they plow my driveway in every time it frickin' snows. So, I mean, and I go and clear it. I mean, people gotta be responsible for themselves. I mean, they can't be told by the county or the town how to take care of their own problem, their own business, I guess, so.
Nick?
Just 2 things here. One, as far as land records issuing a 911 address, you know, we cannot deny anybody issuing, or to issue a 911 address, as long as they fill out the permit and pay the fee. And it was a legally created parcel, whether it's being addressed off of Hogan Lane or was that Williams Road to the north?
Williamson, yeah.
You know, we cannot not issue an address because we would be concerned about an easement that accesses a public road. That's not our concern or what the snow is where it's gonna go, okay? We have hundreds of dead-end town roads across the county. And townships deal with them differently. Even townships that have multiple dead-end roads, they all deal with them differently. And that's something that maybe just needs to be figured out in this area between the township and the neighboring property owners. But I just wanted to reference that land records, we can't not issue a 911 address because we're concerned about something that really shouldn't be our concern in the office.
I'm just looking at the pictures. I've never been on the site, so I may be misreading what I'm seeing. The town, it looks to me like there's a space created for a potential town road beyond, yeah, there we go, up and down where the arrow's going, yeah. Why was that space created? Who created that space?
He talked about
Was
that
the town
earlier.
in agreement with that space at a potential use, or did they have nothing to do with it, or?
May I bring these to you?
Yep.
Essentially, the pink is the area you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's
yep.
the easement that's been created.
Right.
How they sold off land years ago. This was what we were given last year as a possible subdivision, which same thing, a road would then be extended, giving frontage to
Come all
all
the
those
way around,
properties.
yeah. So there's potential there for a road to be built, whether it be public or a private road.
Correct. I told the landowner that we were reaching out to our attorney, we were coming to this meeting, and he says, bring me back something, 99% of the things I'll probably agree with, the other 1% will be like, this isn't good for Paul, I'm a no.
Yeah, so,
So,
again, have you looked into it all? What it would take? Would the landowner be interested in allowing you the property at a no cost, and then you'd upgrade it to a town road, which would allow you then to generate some state revenue from that?
that's been suggested as well, but who pays for the road?
Developers have.
Developers typically pay for the road.
Yep.
And usually a public hearing is requested to make sure that the townspeople are in agreement. Typically in that section there, on a dead-end road where it's only affecting 1 or 2 people, the townspeople might say there's zero benefit for the town. And so,
Yep, so, I don't have an answer, I just had more questions.
we're not gonna solve this today.
No, but
We're just trying to fix it going forward. Obviously, the town of Trempealeau and I believe the outskirts of Osseo have been told are the two fastest growing municipalities in the county. But if one person's allowed to just throw in a driveway on an easement to access a road, is everybody else gonna do it then? Because then they don't have to pay to build the road. Obviously, a subdivision, I believe, is 3 to 4 houses plus. Well, if somebody knows that's the limit, oh, we'll just throw in 2 houses and an easement, and then we don't have to pay for a road, and we can sell this land. It just, obviously, we see it as a concern, maybe others don't.
So the blue property, does it have an easement then, or are they seeking an easement?
No, they received an easement with the property.
I see.
Essentially, the
Yeah.
pink area is the easement.
Oh.
Their driveway comes into that easement. Legally, we cannot pile snow on that easement, which is on the head of that dead-end road. That's the question. One of the questions is, where does snow go?
If you just, can you push it, just push it beyond that, where that pink area is that you just showed me?
So legally, that's an easement and not our road. I can't say that we haven't been doing slightly a bit of that, because somewhere along the line, it was expected to uncover that one driveway. I get it.
But the easement could be modified with language to allow that, couldn't it?
So could 3 or 4 other easements in the town, so now we're plowing.
Oh, so you wouldn't,
So I'm just saying, if we do it for
Yeah.
one,
got it.
then we'll have 4 others that are saying, hey, add on to our easement, and then you can plow our driveways too.
Mr. Chairman, can someone just summarize the problem for me like I'm 5 years old so I can understand this?
care to try to summarize the problem?
Like I'm 5, so that I understand this. We're using a lot of language and other things, but can we just do it in plain English?
Andy, yes, you're essentially right. If we add in language into an easement to plow snow on someone's private property, there could potentially be 3 or 4 other minimum other places that are going to say, you're doing it for Paul and the Hainishes, can you come plow for us right away too?
Okay, so if I can summarize quickly for the 30,000 foot level, just so I'm understanding, you have a road and it needs to be plowed, and there's something with the way the road is structured that requires you to plow somebody's private driveway. And your concern is that if this continues, other people are going to want you to plow their driveway. Is that correct? Do I have this?
No, not exactly. The way the road is structured, I don't know, are you looking at the map?
I can see it above you, yes. Yep.
There's, Nick's moving a mouse across the screen. The road essentially dead ends head-on into an easement.
I see it, yep.
The easement was created to access one driveway. The driveway to the west is on essentially private property with no easement. So yes, the essential fix to it is for the landowner to put in, I believe it's 98.6 98.6 feet is the length of the easement. If he were to rock that, blacktop it, and sign it to the town, problems would be solved for everybody. But like I said, we're going to take that back to him, but in early discussions, he said, well, they already got an easement, why should I have to fix anything? So here we are.
Does he consider that easement below that horizontal red line his driveway then? Is that the issue?
So that's not a driveway.
Right.
This driveway on the blue comes into an easement.
Right, but you keep saying that people are gonna want you to plow their driveway. You're only plowing so they have access to get out of their driveway.
Correct. However, that's on private property.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the gentleman behind you would like to say something.
So can you move that map up a little bit?
You want to go south, Ted?
Yes.
Okay.
So, my deal is if, let's say this person.
Who are you, sir? Just for my,
Uncle.
He's our road supervisor.
oh, thank you.
Okay.
So, let's say this guy wants to buy a lot. And then he gets a right of way, or
Easement.
easement through here also, and he builds a house. So down the road, this person here could buy a lot, he gets an easement. This is the perfect way to get out of building the road.
Ted,
Except for in your
Dave,
scenario.
Dave, just a
But wait,
second
but
here.
Okay.
Ted,
But wait, hold on,
you
hold
got, I don't think
What
your,
did that, what,
I don't think your scenarios
Okay.
would meet the requirements of the ordinance.
Well, that's a good question, I guess we need to answer.
Yeah, because it,
hold on, wait a minute.
you wouldn't be able to create another parcel there. I think, Mark, I didn't check the zoning. I don't think it would meet the zoning requirements. Plus, you know, it wouldn't meet the road frontage requirements if you created another parcel in there.
If this person buys
What-
it.
Yeah, if that person buys it, and I didn't check to see
Where do they
if,
have their 100-foot access to a public road?
On the other side.
Well,
On the other
since he
side.
owns this lot, doesn't that carry in?
he can, if the Jesse Fox's property is not an existing certified survey map, if it's just a meets and bounds description, he could buy land to the east from Sasala, but he would not be able to develop it, meaning he wouldn't be able to divide it to create another parcel or build another house there without meeting the requirements of the ordinance, which would be the 100 feet of public road frontage.
Even if it's just another outbuilding?
It doesn't matter, because any more additions to Paulson Sala's property, even if it goes to the adjacent owner and they try to divide it, it can't be serviced by an easement. They have to have 100 feet of public road frontage, unless you extend Hogan Lane.
what did the homeowner do wrong 16 years ago when they built the home?
I believe the driveway is on the wrong side of the house in my book, but the driveway is on their property. But once again, I wasn't on the board 16 years ago. I don't know what happened or what was allowed.
I appreciate you coming and clarifying this for me. What I'm hearing is this. I'm hearing that a private landowner did nothing wrong when they built their home. They built it to the ordinance. And now I'm hearing that since then, it seems like either ordinances have changed or the county messed up, and we want the homeowner to pay for that. And I'm not okay with that. If there's any expense to the homeowner in this whatsoever, when they did nothing wrong, that's not okay.
Mr. Parrish, no one said that the homeowner's responsible for this. Zero.
You just said if they blacktop it and give it to the city
That
or the
would be,
county or whatever.
that would be the landowner that owns the land to the south, not the houses that were built. The person
Okay.
that's, the
To me, it
person
sounds
that,
like we're moving the goalpost on the homeowners, and I'm not okay with that.
I never said anything about the homeowners. I'm trying to fix something for the homeowners, not create additional finance issues for them. I don't know how we got lost there.
Yeah, this was
I don't know either. I'm
the
sorry. I just thought I had heard that.
Yeah, this was the issue from the developer that sold those lots, not the people who bought the lots.
So 16 years ago, I believe Paul's father and mother sold the lot where the driveway ended up a third on the road, 2/3 off. And maybe at the time they had a handshake agreement that says you can use our land to access that road. No easement, just a handshake agreement possibly. The newly created driveway is in an easement. We're just trying to figure out how to make that, and I get it. They have a dot on their property that meets up with the end of Hogan Road, so, and where they're building their house, that's really the only way for a place for a driveway to go. Everybody understands that. Their frontage that they purchased it from is off of Williamson. I guess we'll just have to go back to the landowner and try to create something, or we're going to have to get some policy on our books that tries to prevent this in the future.
Chair, can I just add something? I don't think it was even the developer, so if you would've took that house on the west side there and moved it towards the street and had his driveway go off the street instead at the end of the street, it's part of the land, so even the developer wouldn't be wrong in that case, as long as they moved the house, if they would have moved the house where the driveway could have been accessed off the road.
Correct.
Well,
You know, so I mean, it's just, I don't.
Fully accessed.
Fully, yeah. So I don't even think it's developer, it's just where that driveway ended up being.
But now it's the new house situation.
Right.
That's back
To me, this
the old
sounds like-
situation.
Say
To me,
again,
this sounds like, I said, to me, this sounds like, and again, I'm open, I would love to hear, especially John, because I know John knows a lot about these issues. To me, it sounds like this, that the homeowners did nothing wrong, that somehow along the way, something got missed, and that there wants to be a fix for it, that the homeowners want to fix or don't want to fix, and that the city does. I'm just wondering what we're fixing, and is there really a problem to even fix in the first place? Can't we just let it go?
No, I feel we cannot let it go. It's a town issue, and I feel it's gonna balloon from here. And if we don't address it, things are gonna get worse, and there's 15 towns in this county, all under county zoning. I can't speak for the other 14, I can only speak for us. We feel if there was a driveway there that met up with that road that there was multiple houses on that was not on the dead end, it would probably not be an issue because there's still a place for the snow to go. Currently, we can't legally pile snow at the end of the road, and there's nowhere to put it. If it wasn't July 1st and this was December 15th and we could send pictures of, potentially 2 or 3 feet of snow out there, we would be having a different discussion.
So can we change the ordinance to allow you to put snow at the end of the road? I mean, that this seems like a pen versus a pencil in space type thing, like the easy solution is change the ordinance.
The ordinance does not affect that there's a driveway on an easement that meets up with a road.
just Randy?
First of all, I don't think you want to change the ordinance for one situation. And once again, nobody's mentioned anything about asking the lot owners to pay for anything. The discussion is about the developer and the seller of those lots, not the homeowners.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, go ahead.
Past practice, theoretically, the township in the old building permits had driveway acknowledgement, whether it met specs or not. There is specs designated even through county ordinance on how a driveway should be built, whether it's on a municipal road of any kind. So somehow this got dropped, like Mr. Hilton said, either as a gentleman's handshake, how this got missed. But yeah, theoretically, that should not have been, the driveway should have been moved one way or the other, because it does not meet county driveway specs. And that was acknowledgement through the township.
You mean the
Talking
western driveway?
The western
on the west
driveway
side,
right now,
yes.
yes. That's creating one conflict. I don't know how many easements you can have on top of an easement. That's another question. Because who controls the first easement and then the second easement? I mean, what if the one party sells one on an easement, which some are perpetual, some are not? But who has control, whose maintenance? And the other question is, if the town wishes to extend its way, do they gotta buy the land, or do you force that landowner to build a road to town specs and then adopt it? I don't know if Mrs. Fisher could answer that question, because I've tried getting
I
that
think
through
they're
the
all good
towns.
questions, but I think, I think it's already been said. I don't know if the solution's gonna come today. It's certainly something that's helpful for us to hear and to put on our radar, especially as we're looking at other issues. I think there are a lot of points here that we don't have the information in front of us at the moment.
Well, either
We have a
that-
lot, but
Oh, another question is, okay, so they get frontage off a road that's legally, they're not putting a driveway on. And how did they get a building permit then off of one where you're either going off of a easement or whatever? That's the question. Maybe we gotta look at how the ordinances are set up for creating lots, or specify some language in there moving forward.
It's certainly something for us to consider, and we do have a little bit of an update. I'm not sure if it's entirely here, but it's in a future agenda item.
So, yeah, essentially, just as a follow-up, no, the landowner hasn't done anything wrong. They put a driveway that they have onto an easement that they were given by their certified survey map that says they have an easement. Our problem is, legally, that driveway doesn't come on a driveway to a road. It comes on a driveway to an easement, then to a road. If there's a fire or emergency there, and we plow to the end of the road, and like I said, I get it, that there's somewhere in the easement, it says that the parties are responsible for the snow plowing. Typically, a road, or not a road, a driveway is at least plowed past. This, we don't have to plow to the driveway. It's not on a road, it's on an imaginary I mean, not imaginary, but it's on an easement. So then all of a sudden, where does the liability fall? It's just,
That's the question. So theoretically, we have 33 feet of right-of-way on each side, so when we are removing snow, mowing grass or whatever, we have the right to enter that.
correct.
Right now, you're on an easement. Do you have 33 feet of frontage on the end of Hogan Road or not to enter
It's
that?
to the side of the road. The 33 feet does not go beyond the end of the road.
Correct. I mean, yeah, that's an issue. I mean, yeah.
Well, I
That
agree
end.
we won't solve it today, but what's the path forward, I guess? What's the next steps?
That's what I'm here to ask.
Well, and I'll answer that if that's okay with everybody. If you haven't contacted the owner of the blue area that has been selling the lots, I believe it's Paulson Solid,
The owner of the blue area, just to correct you,
Yeah.
that's been purchased.
okay?
The owner of the lots now is to the west, south, oh, you're looking, I'm sorry,
They just changed the color for it. And that's
Now
gonna
blue
confuse
area
it, but
is
that's
what we're
okay, yeah.
the now blue area, yeah, you're looking this way, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This was blue on a previous.
Right, that's what I'm saying,
So yes,
is,
the owner of the blue, yes, you're correct.
right. So that individual who does he own the land that's at the end of the road in any way, shape, or form?
That's where the easement is.
Right, does he own any of it beyond that area, beyond the easement?
He owns it all.
The whole thing.
That's what I'm trying to emphasize. I'm emphasizing, he benefits from development of that into a private road. Am I correct?
Correct.
I would propose to him to develop the private road to solve the problem. That's my proposal. That would be a solution. If you ask me for a solution today, that would be the answer.
I have a thought too, I mean, not that this is a great solution, but I was thinking the same, I would work with the property owner. But otherwise, like ultimately, you legally are supposed to stop and not go on the easement. You drop the snow there, they have to contract out, the two owners have to contract out to have that snow removed. I don't know, I know that's not great, it's dumping the snow right in front of their driveways, but
We can't.
you can't do that?
We can't cover up the easement. Essentially,
Okay.
we need to try to back drag away from there, and then try to plow each direction.
I think you have to work with that landowner that has benefit from it, yeah.
Could one or either of the landowners on the west or the new one on the east purchase that little spot that is now the easement and then be the property owners?
So, he can't, because if they were to purchase that pink of that easement,
Yeah.
then that blocks out the rest of his field, because he has no access anywhere.
Oh.
To be able to sell any of that, see now, the blue box changed color on me. So to,
Sorry, guys.
You gotta get more colors.
to answer your question, if either of this landowner bought this, he loses access to any of this. The only way he can sell any of this is to pay to extend that road.
Okay, gotcha.
To give 100-foot frontage to whatever lot he wants to sell. Currently, I feel it's landlocked now because he has no frontage anywhere to sell it. So essentially, it's been created now to be, obviously it touches the end of Hogan Road, everybody agrees. But that's not 100-foot frontage, so to me, this is totally an unsellable landlocked piece of land now.
Ryan,
Right?
according to the ordinance, you know, you gotta separate out tax parcels versus ownership parcels. So Paul owns this land right here, which fronts onto this town road here. So Paul has access down to whatever this town road is here.
He told me he has, I'm just,
Yep.
like I said, I'm not a full-time surveyor.
Yep.
I'm not anything, I'm just here asking questions. When I bugged him about this situation with if he created something, there'd be an easement to get to Hogan. He says I cannot sell any more of this land unless this road were to be extended. But you're saying that he does have frontage down along Spalding?
Yes, because he owns this entire parcel here that my mouse is hovering over, and so he has all of this frontage, and, you know, if I keep expanding the map, it's gonna.
I get what you're saying.
So he has a legally created parcel according to the ordinance. The question is would he need a rezone to develop this further? And I can't answer that question.
I believe this is already rezoned, correct?
Okay.
I think he told me he was gonna reach out to, I think, High Cliff Consulting.
Yep.
I mentioned the DNR and a couple other things, and then that, he had a map he had given us of a possible well then, maybe he asked some questions and got shut down at either the consulting or the DNR, I don't know. Somewhere along the line, this piece got sold, and originally it had went this way, not even touching, but I think that was maybe the only place to get access to a road.
Yes.
Because if you actually go out and do a site visit, there's lowland area by Williams. I get it. It would suck to put a driveway in there and tear down a tree line to get to where they want to put their house. Nobody's disagreeing with any of that information. It's just trying to figure out the best legal way to
Maintain Hogan Road.
maintain and not, like I said, if you give somebody an inch, what's the rule? They're gonna take a mile.
Yep.
If we give that inch and say, yeah, we'll just keep plowing that, you know, it's the way it's always been. And all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, how do I'm using Pauline's example, because it's on the map. Well, how do we get this to touch over here, touch over there, you know, where can we throw some more easements? It's just, that's what we're trying to figure out. And
But if he does have access down there in the southwest area by that house, then he could sell that little outcropping to Hogan Road.
And once again, can he build something here and have an easement through his land out to Spalding?
No, so like any more parcel development there, it's separate of a rezone. Every parcel that gets created has to have 100 feet of public road frontage. Every parcel
So the only way this can be developed is if Hogan Road is extended.
is extended, or you create a town road off of the road down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no more development that can happen, you know, as far as parcel development based on creating landlocked parcels.
So if he was gonna sell this, he would have to sell it with this property, because that's the front.
Yeah, so like if he sold that entire, you know, this entire parcel, tax parcel, he would have to either extend Hogan Road, so he has 100 feet of frontage, because right now he doesn't, or he would have to sell 100 feet off of Spalding, you know, just to the northwest of his, I don't know if that's a horse barn or whatever. You'd have to have a 100-foot strip here of owned frontage, can't be by easement, to all of this here. Okay, so if I wanted to buy this parcel that I'm hovering just, here, I'll do this. If I wanted to buy just this right here, I'd have to buy a 100-foot strip off of here, or I would have to extend Hogan Road with the township, that I would have 100 feet of frontage.
So I don't wanna keep kicking the horse here. So say he sells 100-foot frontage off of Spalding. to access this piece. And
Yep.
this person says, I don't wanna go out there, all of a sudden now we have an easement to Hogan. Because the
Yeah.
frontage here was used to sell the lot, just like it was for this one off of Williamson. But there was no way to put in a driveway, so it's now an easement. Same thing could be here. Paul could say, I'll sell you the frontage, but you're not putting in a driveway.
Well,
You can go off of Hogan through an easement.
he could sell this here. He can't deny you from building a driveway there. You own the land.
Just stating a fact where he could handshake agreement. I'll sell you this frontage, but I don't want you driving past my horse barn. I'll give you an easement over to Hogan.
Well,
That's
he
where
wouldn't
it's
be
going.
granted an easement because you would be the owner of this land.
Yep.
You wouldn't need an easement.
To get out to Hogan?
Yeah, because you would own all this land that I have highlighted in blue.
Currently, there's a pink easement.
But I'm the owner of the land. I can go out on Hogan. I own the land. It's just subject to someone else's easement.
Like I said, I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
I'm just here to ask questions.
Just curious too, Dave, if the town and the developer did extend that, and those easements are existing on that little chunk there, do those have to be removed from, because the easement would then be on town road?
Well,
Which wouldn't matter, or wouldn't,
Tony asked me the same question,
Oh,
and that's a legal question that
Okay.
I'm not gonna
All right.
answer. What happens to those easements when now you have a town road
Right,
over the
right.
top of an easement? When now you have a public way, does the easement become null and void? I don't get paid enough to answer
Susan
that
knows
question.
that.
I believe from what I've read, if a road would be extended, that easement basically becomes null and void. But
But
once
it would take
again,
a legal action to remove the easement. You want to weigh in or not?
I don't think so. I think just.
So- once again, I thank everybody for their time. If I
Yeah.
keep talking, somebody's gonna have to order us lunch.
Okay.
So, like I said, I hope we can all be friends at the end of the day here. This is not to try to create animosity. This is looking for solutions. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ted.
Item 11, zoning update. Discussion possible action with Mark. Anything?
First of all, I mean, pass those resolutions around before we forget them. I put them by you.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
we got to sign them.
yeah,
And
here.
I guess as far as the zoning update, everything's normal in zoning, I guess, as far as that goes. And I know they have this, chapter 24 is our subdivision ordinance. And there's an act that was official as of today, I believe, that to approve a plat, it requires the committee approval. And I think we want to remove that language because also in the statutes, if we receive a plat, we have to approve it within 10 days or 14 days. And that wouldn't coincide with a committee meeting. So I think the only change in that would be to remove the requirement of the zoning committee to approve a plat and put it on our department. That's my understanding of it, so.
Sounds like that'd be a little more efficient also to be able to have one person.
Yeah, I
make
mean,
the
there's more
call.
to it than, they gotta go through all kinds of steps before it would get to us. And it's kind of a finality type thing, and I haven't never looked at one in 12, 15 years that I'm aware of. But like, say someone's creating a new subdivision, it'll be a plat. And when they submit a plat, they have, that states right in the state statute that the county has to approve it, or the municipality has to approve it within a certain time period. By the requirement of the zoning committee to approve it, you'll never meet that requirement, because you're only meeting every 30 days, just trying to clean it up a little bit as far as I understand.
You guys want me to just kind of?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I
Reel it
didn't-
back. So, there's a 2025 Wisconsin Act 68, and that was passed last year. And so it changes some of the things that are going to affect Chapter 24 of our ordinance. And so we're just taking a look at that, making sure we align with state law. And part of that becomes a timing issue, to Mark's point, about how plats need to be approved. So we're looking at that, and we figured actually it's kind of timely with this conversation. We figured when we started looking at this, we might as well do a comprehensive review of Chapter 24 of our ordinance. make sure our definitions align in other places, for example. You know, to the point of this previous conversation, maybe we take a look at some of the issues that he raised and see if there's a place we can address that as part of this comprehensive review. So that's where we're at, just trying to make you guys aware that this is coming. We need to make sure that we're adhering to what came down from the state. And if there's any questions, I think it'll be coming forward more in the future.
Would you state your name and position for the record and
thank-
for people outside of this room?
Thank you.
Sure, so I'm April Landy, Assistant Corporation Counsel.
Okay.
Any questions? Otherwise, just to kind of bring it to your attention that we're looking at that and wanting to move forward with that sooner than later.
Your counsel for who?
For Trempealeau County, I work for Susan.
She
Well,
works
under
with me.
Susan.
She's the new one. Yes, she is the new Assistant Corporation Counsel.
She's one of
Yes,
us.
we're very fortunate to have her.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you, guys.
Okay, you bet. Was that all you had, Mark, or do you have something more?
I can't think of anything else. I guess we'll look at chapter 24 to try to address some of their concerns, but I guess in my mind, you know, right or wrong is our department did our due diligence on that road thing. The land records did their diligence on it. It's just a goofy circumstance with, you know, like I said, you know, I don't know if it'll be able to change anything or not, but if we're gonna open up chapter 24 for something else, maybe we can look at something for that. Other than that, business as usual. I mean, we maybe got 10% of our pumping notices back, which is, you know, pretty good number because we only sent them out like a month or so ago. A little bit of glitch with postcards, but with anything new, there's always something.
What's the pumping notice?
Septic systems.
Okay.
If you haven't got one in a few years, it's time for you to pump your septic system. And let me know. But,
You're pretty thorough, Mark.
there's only like 6,000 of them, you know. You
Yeah.
can't keep track of every single one of them. But, I think permitting is average to most years, you know, as far as permits go, so.
Unless you've got a really old septic, like, I
And
got
you should
away with
probably
it
get a new one then,
for
too,
years
so.
because my septic was put in 1963 and it's still functioning.
Well, it sounds like you
So
need
it was
a new
never
one.
there was never a permit out there until Mark had time during COVID to sit and look at maps. I never got a notice.
Well, don't tell that to too many people.
I'd say, Dave, there's grants available. Now that you've stated that publicly, I'd say there's grants available for that.
Yeah, they're after you.
Well, if I gotta do it, so does everybody else. That's,
And I have,
how
that's
it
why I
works.
know, I
So
get
you
a
pick out one
letter
guy,
from Mark
you
all
gotta
the
pick out
time.
okay, that was it. Number 12, conservation update. Rick.
All right, good news, we have both of our new employees will be starting within the next couple of weeks. So it won't be as quiet in our office. Not that it's ever quiet with Mark in there, but. So that's a good thing. Got a couple of mines in the process of reclamation that I'm be working with. Holding off a little bit until we get our two new employees in to introduce them to that process. So that'll be coming up in the next month. Hopefully, we can come to an agreement on those. Applications for cover crop, starting to get a few of them in. Just throwing it out there again that the deadline for that is July 15th. So if anybody's out there listening, please get those applications into us sooner than later. Started looking at our annual tree sale information, trying to come up with a list of trees that we want to put on the order form. So I know it seems like we just got done with our tree sale a couple of months ago, but it's that time to start looking at next year. So, and then you all, Andy, I think yours is sitting here at the table, but the LCC Land and Water Handbook for 26 through 28, everyone should have got a copy of that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It's a hard copy. I do not have access to a digital copy. I could maybe reach out and see if I can. But
or I could put it in your mailbox.
Yeah,
That's a good
I'll be
idea.
there this week. Thank you.
Okay. And that's about it. Otherwise, just, try to get things done as best we can, so.
Any questions for him? Okay, thank you. Item 13, Department of Land Management, new position request. And that was, John would like to hear more about the new position and whether, for us to discuss, whether we would, if we as a committee officially supported your request, if that would be of value to the request. We're just opening it up for,
Dave, with the survey, we can put down that that's a high priority as far as the survey that we have for budgeting survey.
Yep.
And that's one way that everybody on the board here can emphasize that, hey, we've had a reduction in that department. We need to maintain services, and that's the best way to do it.
I mean, thanks for that written description and a little historical, Rick. That was very helpful. I'll just make the observation that Tony was there too on June 16th. We were at the West Central Land and Water Conservation Meeting. Just did some informal benchmarking there with several counties. And it's pretty clear we're well understaffed compared to our neighboring counties. And I think as we are putting together the Land and Water Management Conservation Plan, the next 10-year plan, the ability to act on that, and if you look at that plan and what it says, and I'm sure if we looked at the comprehensive plan, we place a strong priority on protecting the conservation and the natural resources in the county. And right now, I think we're not meeting that objective with the staffing level that we currently have. So I fully support increasing staffing to support the conservation efforts in the department. And I like your idea, Kevin, for everybody in the committee, hopefully will respond to that survey with that message.
Randy, you had something?
Just like to clarify, the 2 new hires just bring the total back to 5. It's not
Correct.
like,
Correct.
Okay. Anything else on that?
Dave, are you looking for a motion in support of that when you
Well,
brought
that's what I'm
that statement up?
questioning. I'm asking, do we feel as a committee that a motion, a second, and a vote in support of the new position in our records, is that valuable or not?
To Supervisor Whalen's point, I mean, you're gonna have to look at all of the positions in totality in figuring out how you're gonna balance or where those are weighted. And I'm not saying that a support piece is not a good thing, I guess you could do that, I'm just saying, I guess in looking at the budget survey, that's gonna help in weighing those things, but I don't know. You could certainly, do we do that at each committee then, for each question on their, on those positions? And so I just bring that forward, I'm not sure.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
and in light of the statement, as far as would it be beneficial and is it something that we should do in recognition of what our committee knows as the past performance of the Conservation Department and the success that we've had, I would move that the committee support the addition of the individual that Rick has recommended as far as part of the budget. So I move to support Rick's recommendation that we increase the Land Conservation Department.
For a new position request.
For the new position as requested.
Okay, I
And I'll
have that as a
second that.
motion. And John, you second? Any other questions, discussion?
Just to support it, we keep telling everybody that the people are the important part of Trempealeau County. Having the people that are able to do the work that is there, we already know of past history has shown that the county has not shrunk because in the number of miles, acres, or whatever amount we want to say, it's still difficult for us to have a 5-person staff completes a department that in the past had 8 individuals working there.
Hey, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I don't disagree with what Supervisor Whalen said at all. I guess I just disagree with our process right now. I would like to see us as a committee as a whole develop a 3-5 year strategic plan with growth metrics and with retention metrics and customer satisfaction surveys and so on to determine what we actually need for staff versus just this one-off stuff. So with that said, I'm going to vote no, even though I support it, just because I would like to see us have a more comprehensive plan overall.
Any other?
I think it's a great comment, Andy.
So we have the motion and the second. Anything more? Okay, all in favor of Mr. Whalen's motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign?
Aye.
Okay. Recorded. The motion does carry. Let's see. Next item is future agenda items. One thing that I will get on the next agenda is the appointment of, just can't remember your name, Tony Munson. He has agreed, as of last month's meeting, he said he was interested, but had not agreed to be a member of the Land and Water. He has now agreed, so we needed to have it on the agenda to actually formalize him being appointed to that position, so that needs to be on the agenda. Anything else for the agenda?
You'll have on there, now that you mentioned appointments, or Kellen Nelson has agreed to be a alternate for the BOA.
Okay.
I guess he hasn't been officially instated as that, so maybe we'll have that on the agenda, and if we can get somebody, that would serve on it as a permanent one, maybe that'll be another agenda item.
Okay.
Just put like BOA appointee as an agenda item or something.
Yeah, and I think another agenda topic, we're trying to arrange a discussion, educational discussion about data centers. I don't know if you've followed the news much, but there is a growing, there's a lot of emotion, even more emotion than renewable energy around data centers.
Definitely.
And I was just at an event last night in Chippewa Falls where I learned some of the issues that counties like Menominee County successfully opposed one recently. There's several going in and proposed in other areas of the state, and there's a lot to consider. It's very different than the renewable energy. There isn't a state statute sitting up there that's directing us what to do. So there was some very good information, and one of the things, State Senator Jeff Smith was there and just made the comment that when it comes to data centers, zoning is your protection. And so we can institute things like moratoriums successfully if we need time. That was one of the messages. But I'm not going to go into the details. I think, there's two people. I didn't recognize that other name on what, I was on vacation. But we should have an educational session on data centers. And the big message from yesterday was, don't get caught flat-footed. If you receive a proposal for a data center and you have not done anything, you are behind the 8 ball. So we're going to get that started next month.
Mr. Chair, also for FYI, to complement John's statement, I believe La Crosse County has put a moratorium on data centers. They've actually sent the moratorium out, and it was on the news as far as on public broadcasts, but I haven't verified it any other way. But that is something that has occurred in some of the other counties adjacent to us also.
Is that, no, potential moratorium, is that something that needs to be on an agenda and a whole, or is that something, what procedure on a moratorium?
Yes, I had sent an email to leadership last week, I believe it was last week, regarding this topic. I'm not sure if anybody wants to disclose that a little bit more. It's, everything that is being discussed is on point. I don't know if anybody, or otherwise I'll just do it.
If you could, please.
Yeah, so what I had essentially said is that we can't have a long moratorium moratorium on the issue. But our zoning ordinance doesn't necessarily deal with this in a comprehensive manner at this point. And so there are some updates that we could do, and so that is something that could be considered. If you wish to put it on there, and maybe and it's not to say no, it's just that we don't have the framework that would be ideally there. And so we could put that as a discussion piece to start fleshing that out. We could also have the similar resolution. I want to throw out that St. Croix is also having this topic going before it. So it is La Crosse South and St. Croix to the north. All corporation councils across the state sat in a call regarding data centers yesterday, too. So it is a hot button issue.
Mr. Chair?
Well, maybe we should have an agenda item to discuss a potential moratorium.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, yeah, Kenosha County is trying to stop battery storage development down there, as I read this week. Because supposedly, as you said, St. Croix County and Kenosha County had JDA agreements started, and the companies walked away because they didn't like what they saw, so they're going to the PSC all on their own and see if they'll get, especially the battery storage in Kenosha County, the JDA agreement for the solar or whatever. XL just says we're gonna go on our own and see what happens. After it's approved, then we'll negotiate a JDA.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for
Okay.
Corporation Council. I have other places as far as to submit resolutions and items. Is it legal for me to take a resolution that we have supported here at Trempealeau County and submit it to other organizations?
If it's been voted on, it is public record, so you can share that as.
Anything that we've approved, I can bring
Yes.
forward to state organizations in
Yes.
support.
Yeah, it's public record. And
Thank
and
you.
truthfully, anything that is voted, it might, if it's included in your packet, it's public record too.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Okay, well, if anything else comes up, we'll just talk about what else might, yeah.
Mr. Chair, can I just make a public service announcement?
Okay.
I did schedule a lunch and learn on solar for July 9th, which is a week from tomorrow. I haven't gotten a tremendous response. If you could just click that accept, if you're able to make it. It's going to be put on by the University of Wisconsin Extension. And it's basically just an educational overview of what's happening around the state. If you feel like you're very comfortable with what's going on around the state and the policy, state law might get brushed on. I already told them that they don't need to go into great detail because of your knowledge there, Susan, and the presentations you've made. So I don't think there's going to be a tremendous focus on that. But it's just, talk about joint development agreements and try to pull in some of the experience from other counties.
We set up a virtual component to that, or maybe we should, and then we could also promote it through our communications.
Yeah, I think Hannah was going to promote it, because I sent her the flyers. And as far as a Zoom link, I think the only thing we had talked about was recording the meeting.
Yeah, I'll follow up to make sure.
I think we were talking about recording the meeting, since we're in this room. Yeah.
Okay, next meeting date, Wednesday, August 5. Any problem with that? Anything else? With that, I'll adjourn the meeting at 10:39.